Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a quick first impressions-ish video about a knife that I've had before and yes, now have again. Some of you will recall, I don't want to give the whole thing away, but some of you will recall that back at Blade Show 2019, I was able to get my hands on a knife that I was super, super stoked about, and it was the Chavez Ultramar 229. All right. Well, since that time, the 229s became a little tougher to get your hands on. They weren't widely available. And when they weren't widely available, I had a couple of offers to buy mine, and I eventually gave in and sold it, thinking that, look, I love this knife, but there was something else I was after, and you know how it goes. And of course, I always think to myself, is this a knife I can replace or not? And if it's a knife I can eventually replace, I'm much more willing to let it go. And so I got rid of it and regretted it ever since. That's a knife that I have really, really wanted back. In fact, I've often thought, man, I would love to collect like all the versions of the 229. So there's the drop point, there's the Tanto, and then there's the Liberation. And I've kind of even wanted to have all of them. Now, what we have here, by the way, I'll just quickly show you the Chavez packaging. I got a little magnetic strip there, foam insert, and if you pull this out, I think there will be some paperwork in here. Maybe not. Nope, it's stuck. We're leaving it just how it is because I don't want to wreck it on camera. So let's move that out of the way and bring in the knife in question. So you can see this is a little bit different from the original version that I had. These are now available with G10 scales. And when I saw the G10, I got really, really excited to check one of these out. And fortunately, I was able to pick one up from Justin over at White Mountain Knives. I think this particular version is sold out, but the last time I was over there, he did have, I believe, some Liberations still available. And we'll talk more about the Liberation because that's a knife I really need to check out as well. And anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully I'll end up getting both and we can do a side-by-side comparison. This knife, this time, I thought, you know what, it's nice to go with something a little bit different. And so I went with the Tanto blade shape. Now, this is not normally what we call a Tanto blade shape, or maybe not what you've traditionally seen as a Tanto blade shape, but that's certainly open to some interpretation. Normally we talk about an American Tanto versus a Japanese Tanto. This seems to land somewhere in between the two of those, okay? It's definitely more swept back, leaning maybe toward the Japanese style than some other options. Let me do a quick rundown on the features of this knife and then wrap it up with sort of my initial impression, because I am pretty darn impressed. So let's just say right now, I love this. This could not be more up my alley. It just has so many things that I really enjoy, beginning with, and perhaps the most enjoyable is this blade. Look at the, come on, focus you. Sorry, guys. Look at the grind lines on that blade. If I get up a little closer, I'm hoping it'll just focus on that. Look at that. Multi-directional grind lines, top swedge, hollow grind here with this great extra material out by the tip. Really, really fantastic blade. I love the way Riot does this. Just absolutely stunning, stunning blade. And there are a few Riot knives out there that are equally as good. The two things that I love about this blade, one, I do like the look of the Tanto. It's really, really sharp looking. Yeah, pun intended. Beautiful hollow grind, which means this is going to slice really, really well. And then we've got that extra strength out at the tip. I just think it's a huge, huge win. So the blade is fantastic on this. Absolutely love it. Moving on to quickly take a look at the other features. Of course, this is thumb stud opening. It is a titanium frame lock. We've got that fantastic Chavez clip down there, milled titanium, really, really cool. And then G10 on the show side. And you know what? The G10 is really, really nice. It feels great in hand. It also lightens up the knife by almost an ounce, maybe more than an ounce. I think the original one I had was like 6.5 ounces, and this is 5.3 ounces. So lightens it up and gives you some extra retention in hand. So I really, really like that. If you have only the Thai version, you haven't tried the G10, I I recommend checking out the G10. We can take a look. We've got titanium backspacer here, really nice stonewash finish on that titanium. Very, very attractive. It is a bearing pivot and it is a snappy deployment, highly enjoyable in that regard as well. So lots and lots to love about this knife. It is one of those knives, if there is, a complaint that I have right away, you got to keep your fingers off that lock bar. Hold on. So let me switch sides, put my fingers purposely on the lock bar, and oh man, I'm pushing really hard. It can still do it, but that's a stiff deployment, guys, for sure. So keep your fingers off the lock bar and you should have no problems. Of course, from Riot, the action is totally superb. There you go. Can I Spidey flick it? Let's find out. Yes, I can. Even better. So size on this is basically the same, so 8¼ inches, 4-inch grip area, 4 5/8 inches on the handle, 3 5/8 inches on the blade. So not a huge knife, and at 5.3 ounces, that's pretty spectacular. Pretty thick. I mean, this is a beefy feeling knife. It looks beefy, it feels beefy in hand, very hand filling, which makes it quite comfortable. So yeah, I really, really like this version. So yeah, I love this design, guys, including the clip, right, which I know has caused some consternation in the knife world. I think the clip is just fantastic and really makes it a Chavez knife. I'm really, really stoked to have this back in my collection, and I don't plan on letting this thing go anywhere. This is a highly, highly enjoyable knife for a whole long list of reasons. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check those channel sponsors. It does help me out quite a lot. Hopefully, guys, Justin has some in stock. If he doesn't, I suspect, my feeling is that there's a bit of a push to make these more available. And so if he doesn't, I suspect that more will come around in the not too distant future. So you can play the waiting game, or of course you can go look at other retailers. I don't think Southern Edge Knife Works carries Chavez stuff, so that's not going to work. I would appreciate, of course, taking a look over there and using my discount code at both places. That does help. But if you want one, I definitely, if this is a design that you find appealing, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the execution. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.